Okay, the Daisy Stormer. I remember you. Is this the Daisy? This is the white supremacist female troll. Oh, she's back. This is the white supremacist female troll from a few months ago, if you remember. She's an alt right white supremacist female
Yes.
who. Yeah, what's going on, Daisy? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, we had a very interesting conversation last time. A lot of trolling, a lot of lying you were doing, ma'am. Um,
I wouldn't say lying. I would say I was a bit inebriated.
right, right. Well, a lot of you white supremacists do stuff and then blame the liquor, but it's okay. We're used to that. So, what's on your mind now, Daisy?
Well, I mean, well, when you put it that way, I mean, alcohol, that kind of is the white man's thing. Crack's y'all's thing. That's not our thing.
Right, right. And the crack of your ass being spread open for black dudes, that's your thing too, ma'am. I heard you
And
had a hankering for the
that's
brothers.
that's actually one of the most disgusting rumors I've ever heard about myself.
Oh,
I
no,
don't even know
ma'am.
where that would have come from.
Damn, you're sitting up here trying to play Miss White Supremacist of the Year, but I heard you had a hankering for the brothers, ma'am. You had a little
No, no, no,
soul
no,
poke.
no. It's Asians. It's Asian dudes.
No, we know you got, and no, we know you have an Asian guy, and you fantasize that he has an afro, and yeah. Well, ma'am, did you swallow your meth? Are you okay over there? You can't inhale too hard, ma'am. But also, you were the $5 Indian. You were claiming to be native, but I saw video of you actually admitting that you were a Latina, which I knew.
No, I'm not because if you actually define the word Latina or Latino, it invokes the idea that you're Italian of some sort. I've done a DNA test. I have 0% Spaniard and I have
Ma'am,
0% Italian
so why are you doing interviews saying that you're Latina?
because it's just easier than explaining that I'm just like some Central American volcano thrower.
Okay, so were you lying then or you lying now?
I just try to keep it simple.
Okay, so that you're just lying. Okay, all right. Okay, anyway, Daisy. All right. Thank you so much, dear. Let me get some more
Thank
people
you.
in here.
I love
I don't want to hear no bucktooth lying white supremacist babble. I just don't want to hear it. All right. Okay, let's see who else we got. Let's see who else is popping in here. We got a lot of folks in here. Let's get Myra or Mira. Mira or Myra? What is it, ma'am? Let's have you hop on, ma'am. Mira or Myra?
Hi, Tariq. I just want to say I don't think we should be split on who should get reparations. I think as a whole we should agree that no one deserves reparations. No one alive right now has been a victim of slavery.
Yes, they are. We are. Foundational Black Americans. We've been victimized by slavery, the legacy of slavery. Yes, we are.
How has the legacy of slavery even affected you, though?
Because the benefits of slavery have been locked in and maldistributed into white society and passed down generationally, and the deprivation has been locked into black society and passed down to us. This is why we have to struggle more in order to succeed because of the deprivation from slavery, ma'am. That's why.
I would disagree because as a white girl, I've actually received negative effects due to black people receiving the upper hand just because they're black. I've been denied positions and
Ma'am,
scholarships for the reason that I'm white, and black people picked
ma'am,
over me.
what school denied you a scholarship, ma'am?
I'm not gonna reveal that information, but
Because it
multiple
doesn't exist.
it does exist, and
Because
I'm
it
not gonna
doesn't
dox
exist.
my location, but it's
Because
multiple
it doesn't
top
exist.
universities.
Ma'am, no school denied you because of a damn black person, ma'am. If you don't stop lying,
I'm not
you're
lying.
lying.
I was also
You're
I was
lying.
in
That's
a
why you
debate
can't.
competition, and I got um chosen as runner up to the black girl simply because she was black. They even stated it was because she was black.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they.
And no, that didn't happen. No, that didn't happen, ma'am. You're lying, ma'am.
I'm not lying. They stood up there and they
Mirror,
said,
mirror,
"Unfortunately,
mirror,
Mira, you're not
mirror,
black enough for
mirror.
us today, and
That's a
you will
lie, mirror.
receive the
Nobody
runner-up
said that.
position."
Nobody said that. Mirror, you're lying. Mirror, what? You're white. You look Hispanic in your
That's not
pic.
me.
Oh, it's a fake picture. So you're
Yeah.
lying. You even profile. What part of Europe is your family from?
Ireland.
Ireland. When did they immigrate here, ma'am?
Potato famine era.
Okay. Well, you're welcome, man. That's how you benefited. If it weren't for foundational Black Americans building this wonderful, wealthy country, your family would still be over there in Ireland, scratching their ass with headlights, eating
I think I
potato.
accredit the white people at like the British that immigrated and the Native Americans. I don't accredit the black people at all.
Ma'am, the Native Americans, well, the red ones, because there were some Black Native Americans who got reclassified as Negro and enslaved. But the red Native Americans and the fake $5 Indians, they had zero bearing on the building of the United States. I mean, literally nothing. And the
No,
British,
you know what they did do though? They
well,
they fertilized the land for us. They kept it up before we immigrated here and
ma'am, that's
it
horse crap.
into society.
That's not true, ma'am.
It is true.
The red
They
Native,
fed the land for us. They got it started. They began the farms. They began societies, and then they're, if anything, their families deserve reparations. But it doesn't
what
even
they
matter
get them,
anymore.
they get
They're all
reparations.
dead.
The red
They
Native,
they do. They do,
they do
yeah.
get
But
reparations.
black people don't deserve it.
Why don't Black people deserve it?
I mean, a lot of the black people living in America nowadays aren't even half their ancestors aren't even slaves.
We're not talking about them. That's why we're talking about foundational Black Americans. I
I don't
agree.
think they should receive them either because it's the difference between saying, well, my ancestors were slaves, so I deserve a reparation. But if you're talking about the effects that current day black people affect, it would be all black people,
So why?
which is,
But, ma'am, what you're practicing is called racism because you said that the red natives deserved it, and what happened to them is not a so-called affecting them now. But if they deserve it, but we don't, that's just based on race. That's called racism. You're practicing white supremacy, ma'am.
yeah, I do. I prefer the
Right.
Native Americans because they fertilized the land for us, and I'm
Right.
saying if anything, they deserve it, but they don't at the end of the day. I'm just
But you
saying I
just said
prefer what
okay.
they
But you just
deserve.
said they did, ma'am. You're all over the place,
No. I was saying that as like a loose term. I still don't agree anyone deserves reparations like I
ma'am.
originally
But you
stated.
just said the Native Americans do.
But I don't actually mean that. It was a loose statement. I was just proving that I prefer Native Americans over black people.
Well, it's just basically you're just a run of the mill anti-black racist.
I'm
You
not anti-black. I'm
yes,
anti-reparations for black people.
right. That's anti-blackness, ma'am, and
No, it's
that
not.
is,
If anything, I deserve
ma'am,
reparations because my family was affected by the potato famine and therefore
ma'am,
were
they got
malnutritioned by
and
birth.
they
So I
got
need
the bit,
money to be I need
ma'am,
money to be fed.
ma'am. Y'all got all the benefits of whiteness when you got here. When you got here, you got $1 million worth of whiteness.
I did not. My
Oh,
family
yes,
started from the bottom.
ma'am. They didn't start from the bottom. They had
Yeah,
that
they
million
did. My
dollars worth
dad
of
had
white.
my great great grandfather had to become a slave owner. He had to make his way up there.
Right. And he started from the bottom and became a slave owner. And he has a goofy, degenerate great granddaughter who sounds like she has the IQ of a fly. And you're still not being marginalized. And
I am being marginalized.
you're not, ma'am.
Do you want me to explain
You're
to you
going to
the
be,
ways I'm being
ma'am,
marginalized?
ma'am. No, you're not marginalized, ma'am. You sound ditzy as a Bessie bug. And you're going to be all right as a white person. You're going to be fine as a white supremacist. That's why you have to depend on white supremacy because without white supremacy, just listening to you, you can't make it nowhere without a welfare system uplifting you. Listen to you.
Well, although I'm
Really?
ethnically white, I have been mistaken for almost every race across the world. So
Oh,
therefore,
Lord.
by my looks, I'm not white.
Okay.
Ethnically,
Oh,
yes, but I have been asked if I'm half black before. Nobody knows what I am. So
man.
at face value, I do not receive my white benefit.
Yes, you
The
do.
white benefit that does not exist.
Yeah, it does, ma'am. This is why you're upholding it. This is why you're upholding white supremacy. Those benefits do exist. This is why you're practicing anti Black racism, which we're not tripping on because we're used to it. But we're still going to get what we're supposed to get, and that's going to be our reparations,
Well,
ma'am.
well, may I ask, why do you feel like you actually no, I already asked this because you feel like you still face effects of past slavery, although you don't.
I mean, we have you here. Listen, and
Me,
you seem relatively young. You're a
yeah.
young white supremacist. So now,
I'm not a white supremacist.
oh, yes, you are, ma'am. You sound like one.
How? I love my black folk, you know? I have black friends.
Have you had sexual relations with a Black man before, ma'am?
I'm waiting till marriage, so no. I haven't had
Ma'am,
sexual relationships with anybody.
I don't believe that, ma'am.
I am. I'm a
Ma'am,
devout Catholic.
I don't. I don't believe that. I don't. The Catholic. What does that mean? The Catholic Church, they stay up in somebody's pussy. What are you talking about? That don't mean nothing.
It does mean a lot,
It
actually.
doesn't mean
You're
anything.
just being very ignorant against my faith and religion right
No,
now, and I don't appreciate it.
ma'am, yeah, the Catholic priests are always somewhere touching on somebody, got their finger somewhere up in somebody. What does
There's
that?
always rotten apples in every damn bunch of people,
Rotten
you
apple,
know.
ma'am.
I mean, half the black population is
They,
killing each
the
other.
Catholic Church is like a freaknik for pedophiles. What are you talking about, ma'am?
And the black community is a great, great group of murderers
Ma'am,
and
nobody,
rapists and domestic violence people. And
ma'am, nobody murders and rapes like you white supremacists. You are the kings and queens of murder, rape, and mayhem, ma'am.
maybe mass shootings, yes. You know, we love
And
to shoot up them damn
mass
schools. You
rapes.
know, we're pretty
You
good at
guys,
that one. But we're not shooting
ma'am.
each other on the regular. You mean
Yes,
I'll walk down to Baltimore
well,
right now
no,
and I
no,
bet you
ma'am,
10 black kids are getting killed by each other.
ma'am. You white supremacists commit whole genocides, ma'am. So let's not go there. Let's not go there, sweetie.
I mean, at least we're killing like other groups. It's not white on white crime half the time. Y'all just
Uh,
hate each other
but
and you hate yourselves.
no, we don't do that like that, ma'am. That's only in a very few pockets of places. And you guys in your white community, you emphasize that, but nah, not really. We're fine. We just got to get the white supremacists out of our mix, and we're gonna be good.
I'm
Uh,
not a white supremacist.
and ma'am, them birth rates—that's the problem. Them birth rates are getting real low, and this is why you guys are getting.
It's because it's because of all the child trafficking and all the child rape and everything they do to children. Society and the government is telling us to stop giving birth because we're running out of supplies because everyone's so addicted to the consumerism society. I mean, but it's also
Child
a lie.
trafficking
We
is
should
that's
still
your
reproduce.
well, the child trafficking, that's your community, man. What's wrong with your community with all the
That's not
child?
my that's that's every community. I
No, it's
mean,
not.
have you seen the people that were on Epstein Island? There's a couple black folk.
No, who?
Yes, there were. And
Who?
most of the people benefiting
Who?
from the child trafficking
Who? Well, no.
are
What black
in
people? No, no, no,
underprivileged.
no, no. Black people weren't really rocking with Epstein like that, man. That's your community. That's the white,
Do you
the
want me to
white.
pull up the Epstein Island like guest list right now? There's
Yeah.
black people on there.
Who? Man, that was mostly the people in your community, man. You be saying anything, don't you? That's trafficking. That's major in your community, man. The white supremacists, you guys have trafficking rings all over the place. There are zero child sex trafficking rings in black society. Literally none. We don't do that, ma'am, in foundational black American culture. That's one thing we do not do. We do not have places where you can go in black society to get a damn child for sexual access. We highly look down on that, ma'am.
Yeah, and you know what? Most society highly looks down on that as well. But
Not
unfortunately, the
yours, man.
people that
Not
no,
yours.
I
The white
I do
supremacists.
not I do not accredit myself with the pedophilistic society.
Not
Pedophilic
white
society.
supremacists, ma'am. You white supremacists give each other slaps on the wrist for
I
pedophilia.
am not a white supremacist. I think every single pedophile should be burned at the stake and killed.
Yeah,
That's not a slap on the wrist, but I don't have the power to do
but
so.
y'all don't give them slaps on. I mean y'all don't put them on the stake and all of that stuff, man. You guys
But
protect.
I don't have that power.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Just I could easily my white skin doesn't give me the power to go kill every damn pedophile in this world.
But ma'am, you guys be in courtrooms giving them slaps on the wrist, ma'am.
You know, there's black judges that have given leeway to pedophiles as well. So
Ma'am,
we can
stop.
talk about that.
Stop it. You just saying anything,
This
ma'am.
isn't even a color war anymore. I mean, you don't need your reparations because I've never seen you picking cotton in the fields. I mean, damn, you're on a red carpet photo shoot in your picture right now.
And what does that mean? What does that have to do with my reparations money?
I mean, it doesn't look like you need money based off of that.
Ma'am, some
What
of the
what would this money do to benefit you? It would just
uh
make you lazier in society.
no, it would not, ma'am. No, it would be compensation and justice because it's owed to me. The money was denied
But
my
it's
family, and my family suffered. And in order for me to walk that red carpet and shine, I had to work extremely hard, harder than I was
No, no,
supposed.
no. Your ancestors had to work. I
I
bet you
am
had
my
a great
ancestor.
upbringing.
I am my ancestors, ma'am, and my
No,
ancestors.
you're not.
Yes, I am.
No,
I'm
you're
100.
not.
Yes, I
Just
am. My
just
ancestors.
because just because your
I
blood related to
am,
those people
ma'am,
doesn't make you them. I
ma'am.
mean,
Yes,
what would
it
you call an
does.
adopted child?
Yes, it does. I am my ancestors, and my ancestors are me. We are one and the same. I carry their lineage and their spirit. Yes, I am.
No,
And they
you're
want me to get compensation for what happened and the legacy that's been passed down. They want me to get compensation for that, ma'am. You
and
understand
if
how it works?
anything, your compensation should be taking advantage of the opportunities you have now that your ancestors didn't
I'm
have.
not
It
going to
shouldn't
let
be begging for
ma'am,
money that you don't
ma'am,
deserve.
ma'am, you come from a fleeing culture where people were broke who came to a country and got benefits they didn't deserve. So what you talking about?
I mean, I'm not reaping the benefits of that, though, am
The
I?
hell you're not if it were not for the wealth generated by my foundational black American family. Your little old racist self would still be in Ireland eating llama meat somewhere.
That's not true.
Yes, it would be, ma'am.
And if
You
it
would,
wasn't, and if
you
it
would
wasn't
still
for
be
the
over
British
there broke.
colonizers coming here,
Ma'am, you would still be over there in Ireland broke.
and if it wasn't for the British colonizers coming over here and taking advantage of all the black people, we would all still be in our respective countries doing it out of whatever the fuck. You would probably
No,
still be
ma'am.
rolling in the dirt in the desert, and I would
No,
probably still be eating potatoes on the farm.
ma'am,
Like,
let me tell you something. We would be in a more advanced civilization if our lineage and legacy wasn't disturbed by the white supremacist. I think we would be more advanced than we are now because a lot of technological advances are stolen and hidden by
I
the
agree
white
with this.
supremacists.
I agree with this.
This is why over in places like Tokyo and Japan, they got so many beautiful advancements over there. Some of the technology over there
You want
is
to know why? They stayed in their respective country. Their entire population is basically all Asian.
yes indeed. Now they were colonized at one point and they were bombed at another point. But the
Yeah,
thing
they were.
is, when you don't have the white supremacists on a day-to-day basis undermining your progress, a lot of people do phenomenal things. And foundational black Americans, we do a lot of phenomenal things and we are thwarted and undermined by your community, ma'am. And we have to be compensated for that.
I don't think you're undermined though. I mean, I
Of
go to
course
school
you
and
don't,
plenty of black people
because
and
you're an
plenty of.
anti-black racist. Of course you don't, ma'am. You think all detriment to black people is justified
I
because
mean, I've been I've been talked down to and told that whatever the fuck I was doing wasn't as good just as much as
doesn't
the
mean
black
any
person sitting next to me.
doesn't mean a black person saying something you don't like don't mean nothing. We are harmed by your community. It's not the same. Don't try to play the comparative game, ma'am. Your community harms us physically,
And
economically.
your community harms my community as well.
No, we don't because
Yes,
we
you
don't
do.
have the
You
power to.
praise ghetto culture. You're indoctrinating people that grow up in amazing
Ma'am,
families with great
that's
values and
your
morals,
community.
and
Ma'am, ma'am,
teaching them.
ma'am. Your community boosts ghetto culture. That's the white corporate structure that signal boost the ghetto culture. We don't do that, ma'am. That's your community. The major corporate white owned record labels and the white owned media, they're the ones who portray and parade hood culture on their $1 billion media systems. They do that, ma'am. So why
Yes,
does
they
your
do,
culture?
but
Why does your
it's
culture do?
still
Why
black
does your
people
ma'am,
partaking and
ma'am,
practicing it in the masses. I
ma'am?
mean, what does it take
Why,
to change the
ma'am,
culture?
ma'am? Why does your culture pump billions of dollars in the degenerate underbelly of black society when there's so many constructed people? They don't do anything with the constructed people.
It's because they want to be dumber so they can steal money from everybody.
Okay, ma'am, because nobody's going to your community giving billions of dollars to promote all of the meth addicts that's in your community, all of the hillbillies, all of the trailer trash, all of the toothless, wet dog smelling morons that's in your community. Nobody's putting $1 billion apparatus to portray that to the global
They
masses.
they do portray it though. All of that is
Where?
intertwined in the ghetto music. It's
Where? Where
all
do they?
it's
Where do
all
they
let me
show
shoot
the?
my cocaine, let me smoke my weed, like let
Ma'am,
me snort my
that's a
drugs, let me pump my
ma'am.
heroin into my veins. Like that's all that music. Let me fuck this bitch here, let me fuck that bitch there, let me get
Why does your
my
community
baby
buy?
mama pregnant and kill the baby. Like, come on.
Why does your white community buy it? Because 80% of the rap consumers are white. Why does your community buy that and promote that? That's your community buying it.
It's not the community, it's the top 1% of people who
No, no,
are
no, no, ma'am,
facilitating the
ma'am,
downfall
ma'am,
of.
ma'am. 80% of rap music, all of the baby mama shoot the nigga, whatever, that's bought by white people. Do you know that, right?
No. It's, yeah, the top 1% that controls the music industry.
No,
Yes,
no, no.
but
I'm
they're
talking
doing it.
about the consumers, ma'am. The people who buy all of the shoot 'em up, do the heroin, do the crack, whatever, who buy the ghetto music, the people who promote it are white. The people who buy it are majority white.
I don't know about you, but it's not just white people. It's basically every single race
Man,
to walk the earth.
when you go
And
to, ma'am, when you go to these concerts with all of these ghetto rappers, 90% of the people in the audience are white for the most part. White
I mean,
people
I
love
wouldn't
that.
know because I'm a white person that doesn't bleed into that culture. So
What music do you listen to? You don't sound like a Taylor Swift fan.
I
What
listen
music?
to like classical.
No, you don't, ma'am.
Yes, I do.
Name a classical artist besides Mozart and Beethoven.
Vivaldi, Franz, uh,
France, who?
you don't know who that is?
France, who?
I don't know. I just call him Franz. I never read the rest of the
Okay,
name.
you just saying shit. Okay, so
Franz
you don't listen
Schubert.
to
There we are. There we are.
you just saying stuff, sweetie. Stop
No,
it.
no, no, no. You don't. Do you
Who do
know
you
who that
listen?
is?
Who do you? You're just saying stuff. Who do you listen to for real?
That's for real. That's who I listen to.
Did you listen to Beyonce?
I no, don't like Beyonce.
Why don't you like? I
I
knew you
listen
didn't
to
like.
like Andrea Bocelli.
I could tell the white supremacist women. Y'all hate Beyonce for some reason. I can tell. Y'all really hate Beyonce. Why do
I
you?
don't hate her as a person. I just don't like her music.
Why don't you like her music?
It's just not good to me.
Just a beautiful black woman with all that talent and just
I mean,
rub.
yeah, she is beautiful, but I just don't like her music. I don't like it.
Right,
I
just
don't
too
have
much.
to like it.
I know you don't have just too much rhythm, too much soul. I got it. But yeah, but as far as the reparations conversation, yeah, we're going to push that line. We got to get those reparations. We know you don't like it. Of course, you don't like it. You don't like black people for the most part, but that's
I
y'all.
mean, I just don't
Y'all haven't been
understand why
liking us.
the
This ain't about liking. We ain't trying to get liked. We're trying to get what's owed, ma'am, and that's what we're going to keep pushing that. So
I don't understand why the black child that I've gone to school with my whole life, who's had the same opportunities as me, lived in the same neighborhood as me,
they
who
don't have
lives.
the no, they don't. They don't have the same opportunities because you are a white supremacist, ma'am. And white supremacists, you got $1 million worth of privileges automatically that we don't.
Where's this money then? Because I'm not receiving it. I'm
It's in
working
your
two damn
skin.
jobs to pay for my college tuition.
It's in your skin, ma'am. You
I
the,
would like to see it then, because it's not showing up in my bank account. Like I
yeah,
don't see it anywhere.
it's in your skin, ma'am. Yeah, you
No,
get
it's not.
million. It is. You
My
get
skin.
million,
I'm not
ma'am,
waking up. I'm not
ma'am, or ma'am,
exfoliating my skin, and money's just fucking
Becky,
falling into the sink.
Ma'am, ma'am. Calm down. Let the don't let your mayonnaise spill over, ma'am. Ma'am, you get $1 million worth of protection and whiteness, ma'am. For example, Kyle Rittenhouse. I like to use that example. He was a poor trailer park white supremacist degenerate like yourself. But when he went to court, that man got a millions of dollars worth of legal defense just because he was white. That's my example. What black folks don't get that. You
What
get
about OJ
millions of
Simpson?
OJ Simpson is innocent. So what do you mean? What about OJ Simpson? And he had to spend millions of dollars to prove he was innocent. So
Nah,
he
I'll
would
explain.
be
I'll explain.
and not only that, he was innocent and still went to jail. So what about him?
OJ Simpson wasn't innocent.
Yes, he was innocent and was found innocent, and they still used the "I'm white and I say so" and put him in jail for stealing his own stuff. That proves my point right there, ma'am. So thank you for proving the point with OJ Simpson. It's the first time anybody went to jail for stealing their own stuff for a damn decade. The man went to jail for a decade for taking his own stuff. That's called white supremacy, ma'am. We don't get the kind of protection you do based on race. See how that works?
I mean, I don't really understand how you're talking about this white man who got millions of dollars in legal help when there is free legal services in almost every state for everyone.
Ma'am, that's not the point. You're pretending to not know what I'm talking about. Kyle Rittenhouse had a whole court system bend over backwards for him after he killed people, ma'am. A black person could never get that, no matter how much money he has. That's what the benefits of whiteness gives you. It gives you certain privileges and benefits like that, ma'am. You got white people out here killing folks and don't even get charged. That's the $1 million worth of whiteness working for you. There's a white man who just killed a black man not too long ago. A white supremacist stabbed a black man to death, called him all types of niggas. The white supremacist got like a peace disturbing charge the other day. This is recent. That's the $1 million of whiteness. You can kind of do stuff and kind of get away with it that we could never do. So yeah, it's not the same opportunities, ma'am.
I
You have,
mean, I really doubt I could if you're talking about the average run of the mill white person, not no.
and you know it, ma'am. I mean, you know good and well that you get certain benefits and privileges from being white. You know
I
that.
never have. I've never experienced any privilege for
Yes, you
being
have.
white. No,
Yes,
I
you.
have not.
Yes, you.
Name one that the average day American who one does not commit crimes because I don't plan on murdering or going to trial anytime soon.
Not even that, ma'am. You're not marginalized. You're not mass incarcerated. You're
I
not.
mean, I'm not
Oh,
fucking killing people or doing selling drugs or attaining
ma'am,
guns that I don't have the right
ma'am,
to.
ma'am, your community sells drugs left and right. You sell more drugs than anybody, ma'am. And the people in your community are not mass incarcerated for drugs. That's another privilege. The drug problem in your community is treated like a medical issue. Oh, they just need some medical help. They need rehab. When we have weed, or just a plant that grows from the ground, we get 20, 30 years off weed. You don't have
I
white people
mean,
getting all that type of. You don't have white people going to jail like that for weed. You don't have white people going to jail like that for cocaine. And you're the biggest drug dealers on the planet. That's white
uh,
privilege. And those are the.
every drug dealer I've ever met is a black man. So
Ma'am, stop it. Where did he get his drugs from?
I don't know. I
You,
don't have a
your
drug
community,
dealer.
your community, ma'am. We got it
No,
from
not
your.
in my community. Got it from Baltimore.
No, ma'am, your community. The white supremacists run Baltimore too. Don't be fooled by the black population.
Yeah, why do you think Baltimore's such a shithole?
Because of the white supremacists, they made it a shithole. That's why,
No,
ma'am.
it's because the people living in it have no respect for their own community. They
Ma'am,
shit.
do you
Why?
have
Why would you clean up a community where the people that live there don't respect it
do
themselves?
you have respect for your trailer parks?
No, I don't. But
All right.
I'm
Well,
not gonna trash them.
don't point the finger at Baltimore then. All right. Baltimore has wonderful people,
Trailer
just like
parks
your
are
trailer.
actually very nice.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hmm.
Your trailer park has nice people, and so does Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about the way they treat it, their own property.
Ma'am, the meth pipes laying around your trailer park, y'all have to clean those up first before you can point fingers at Baltimore, ma'am. You white supremacists are filthy. I've seen some of your homes. I've seen some of these trailer parks. You're not at liberty to talk about filth. And in Baltimore, most of the places are abandoned. That's dirty. So black people in
I was
Baltimore,
actually in Baltimore like a month ago.
man.
Half the people there are just fucking homeless and sleeping in the corners of every
Well,
crevice of every building.
ma'am, there's homeless, naked, shitting on the street white people, ma'am. The black people in
I didn't
Baltimore.
say they were black. I just said homeless.
But I'm just saying, the black people in Baltimore are actually very clean people. The areas that y'all like to point to are abandoned and dilapidated, and they're dilapidated because they're abandoned. So don't put that on the black people there. The black people in
I went to church down in Baltimore, and every single person in that church was white, clean, and beautiful. And I walked down the street, and every other person I saw that was homeless was black, smelly, and dirty. So explain that.
ma'am, a lot of the homeless people are from your community, and even
No,
the
my community is a pretty nice upscale
ma'am,
suburb.
even ma'am, in the
Um,
white supremacist community, even the ones who are not homeless are very smelly, ma'am. We're not going to go to smells. Even the people who have very nice
I
homes in
mean,
your
Tariq, I don't know about you, but I can kind
man,
of smell you just across the space. Like
ma'am,
you
stop,
kind of have the breathing patterns of an obese person as well, which I
ma'am.
feel like would lead me to believe you had some type of diabetes, which people with diabetes typically smell, type 2 specifically.
Ma'am, and you over there, you have them flabby honey boo boo titties, and in between them titties, it smells like
I'm actually very skinny. My
no, no, ma'am, your big floppy honey boo boo titties, and it smells like a wet puppy when you sweat, ma'am. I can hear it in your voice, and you probably look at interracial porn, fantasizing about black dudes running trains on you, and you can't get a brother to do anything.
I don't look at porn. That's
Yeah,
sinful.
sure you don't. I know you don't, ma'am.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I mean,
uh,
I would marry and I would have children with a respectable black man who shares my faith and
m-
that has
not,
similar morals to me.
ma'am, not with that degenerate white supremacist womb and that broken down uterus. You know them white supremacist
My
birth,
uterus is beautiful and well kept. I
ma'am.
eat
You
clean.
can't,
I take my
ma'am,
vitamins. I
ma'am, you,
exercise. I
ma'am,
get my period regularly. I think
ma'am.
I'm pretty healthy.
Ma'am, you know them degenerate white supremacist uteruses don't really work like they're supposed to, ma'am. You know that. And you can't conceive like you want to. There's probably been a lot of miscarriages there, ma'am. And plus the meth use and all of that. So it's all types of weird stuff going on with you guys. So that's probably where the anger is. You have all of these black people with these healthy bodies, and you're sitting over there with that stinky, broke down uterus with cysts all in them. So yeah, you're probably upset because of that. Is that why you're upset with black society, ma'am?
No, I'm not. I'm not upset with Black society or Black people. I'm upset with ghetto culture and Black people crying and yearning for reparations that they don't deserve.
Yeah, well, we deserve it, and we're going to get that, ma'am. And um, you're sitting up here upset with us because we're standing up for what we're supposed to get, and we're not doing what your ancestors did, which was flee Ireland with a bag of goddamn potatoes over here
I mean,
begging
it's not my
for what
fault
we
that
got.
all the crop and you would leave too if there was no damn fucking fried chicken and watermelon left.
Man, first of all, fried chicken is delicious. Watermelon is one of the most healthiest fruits, so that's not an insult.
It's
But
not an
sitting up,
insult. I was just giving you.
but sitting up here eating potato skins all day, eating all of that damn starch, and getting rickets and all types of diseases and ringworm and head lice to the point where you have to flee. Now that's not a good look, ma'am. Now is it?
Yeah, not being able to stand up for yourself back then and allowing yourself to get whipped and pick cotton isn't a good look, is it?
And ma'am, whooping these white supremacist asses like the Black Seminoles and like some of the
The
other
only one that whipped anything was Harriet fucking Tubman and Abraham.
ma'am, you don't know history. Several of us were whooping ass. All of us were not sitting around getting beat down by your family members. We were whooping ass back, and we were a minority over here. And some of your white supremacists, and these are not your ancestors because your ancestors came over afterwards because they couldn't afford a slave. They couldn't afford potatoes, let alone a slave. But some of the white supremacists were getting their asses handed to them. And that's one of the reasons slavery ended because we were fighting back, ma'am, and we didn't flee like that. So is that why you're angry? Because we stand
No,
up to non-justice.
you guys did flee. Did you hear what I like? You guys were avidly running away from your slave owners.
Ma'am, we were getting free from a prison system and finding sanctuary locations so that we could regroup, just like any military organization, and fight back. We were militarizing ourselves, getting into guerrilla warfare, and then striking back very strategically
Yeah,
while
and
saving
that's
other
exactly
people.
what the Irish were doing as well. We were
No, you
fleeing to
didn't, because
go
y'all, no,
somewhere
no,
that
no,
was
but you didn't go back.
fruitful and plentiful for us to
No,
regroup and
no, no, no,
repower
no.
ourselves
No,
as a
you
society.
fled to no. You fled to where somebody else built something and you never went back home. That's a big damn difference, ma'am.
I mean,
Major difference.
people still live in Ireland. I mean, my grandparents went back and lived there.
Ma'am,
They returned. They went back to the
ma'am,
Holy Land.
the Holy Land, nothing. The holy meaning holes in your clothes. All right. You had holy draws and holy bras. You ain't
That's
been
that's
nowhere. You ain't been nowhere near Ireland, ma'am. You have not been nowhere near
yeah.
Ireland.
I have. I have. My
No,
family has
you
a
haven't.
castle
No,
down
you haven't.
there.
No, you haven't. You know you
Yes, I
haven't.
have.
You haven't. You have not been anywhere outside of Poughkeepsie, Maryland, or Michigan, wherever the hell you're from. But yeah, ma'am, you guys fled and never looked back. That's different from our experience. We were being tortured
Yeah,
out here.
you
We
you
still
fled
fought
your
back.
slave shackles and never went back.
You
I mean,
damn right we
I
did.
ain't never seen
You
a black
damn
man in
right.
slavery anymore
Yeah,
besides
you
me.
damn right. We had to get away from that, and then we fought back.
Exactly, which is
That's
why
something.
you don't deserve
That's
reparations
something.
because
Yeah, you,
I've never seen
ma'am,
Tariq
ma'am,
Nasheed in the shack.
ma'am, ma'am. You do get away from somebody torturing you. You weren't being tortured in Ireland. You were just starving because y'all couldn't cut it, ma'am. Is that what it is? Hello, ma'am, Miss Becky.
You had me muted.
Yeah, but we're kind of babbling. I don't want you to babble. Go ahead.
Yeah, apologies, Tariq. I didn't mean it. Okay.
Hmm.
But um,
But you come
it's
from a fleeing. But you come from a fleeing,
okay. But the
failed
reason that
background.
they fled was because the crop died, the land died, it wasn't livable.
Oh, they could have made it livable. They could have made that land livable.
Yeah, they attempted, but some people.
They didn't know how to. Like a lot of Europeans. That's why black people had
It
to
was
get
easier
introduced.
for them to
Ma'am.
flee than to stay, just like it was easier for
Right.
black people to flee than to stay and fight as well.
No. Who are you fighting? The crops? Who are you fighting? You were running from yourselves. You were running from your own inept behavior, ma'am. That's a real big
No, we
difference,
were running from the fatal death of the land, which cannot be tied to
ma'am.
any human.
Ma'am, that's why you learn how to cultivate the land correctly and make the land livable. You make the land
You didn't
prepared.
make your slave status livable. You ran away and
Ooh,
then fought. You left your slave status before you could fight.
yeah, because we weren't
You couldn't even
no,
make your
ma'am,
slave status.
because we weren't supposed to be slaves, fool. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
and
left
we
that
weren't
because
supposed
we
to
ain't.
lose our
You
crop as
damn right
land.
we left it. You damn right we left it because we ain't supposed to be slaves. That ain't our status. We damn sure did leave that. This ain't what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to be herded on somebody's plantation and beaten and worked indefinitely. No, we said no and fought against it and stopped it, ma'am, which is what you're supposed to do.
Exactly, and we're not supposed to be living on dead land where we can't cultivate any crop from. So we left and found our place
Y-
elsewhere where we
Ma'am,
could live.
you make the land livable. You make the land livable. You learn how to create
You
agrarian
could have made
culture.
your slave status livable, but yet you didn't.
How do you make a slave status livable?
I mean, a bunch of people did it. Lived good lives as slaves, worked hard, and died.
Ma'am, you're on good crack if you think that we're going to sit up here and be good slaves to you white supremacists. No, take this foot to the ass and goodbye.
Okay, and then
What
you're
we
on
gave
good crack if
you.
you think Irish people should stay on dead land.
No, dead land my ass. You make the land alive, ma'am.
Yeah,
You make
some
the
people
man.
stayed and made the land alive, and
That's
some people
called
fled to
fleeing.
take care of their families.
That's called failing. You were failing. You didn't cut it over there, ma'am. Y'all had to come eat off us, ma'am. Thank you. You're welcome. You had to come eat off us. We had the thing popping over
Yeah,
here.
and
We were the
you black
ones,
folk ate off the British
ma'am, ma'am,
colonizer
ma'am,
ideas.
ma'am. Y'all had to come over here and eat off of us, ma'am, because you couldn't cut it. You couldn't cut it on your own. So you're welcome. Y'all had to come and eat off what foundational Black Americans built off with the wealth that was generated from us working the land,
Yeah, and
ma'am.
you African Americans ate off of the British colonizers. They came and stole
No,
you
no,
from wherever the fuck you were living, took you to
ma'am.
work,
We didn't
and
eat
now
off
and
them. Now, how did we eat off them? We were fine without them. We would have been better without them. They didn't do us any favors. The British colonizers, ma'am, they were dying when they tried to form colonies on their own here. They were doing just like y'all were doing in Ireland. They didn't know how to cultivate the land. They didn't know how to work this land. That's why all of the colonies that they tried to start but before 1619, these white supremacists were failing and dying off. They almost died off from Jamestown. They were on their last leg until the black folks got introduced. That's when they started to survive. So you're welcome, ma'am. How hard is that to say you're welcome? Your white supremacists are so ungrateful. Why
I
is
mean,
that?
you could say welcome to the white people and the British colonizers for their great ideas um
What great ideas? What great
and
ideas?
their revolutions.
What
Who
great idea?
started the industrial revolution? It was all white people.
Ma'am,
And
we
you know
were
what
the
Africa still is
ma'am.
right now? A third world.
ma'am, I'm not from Africa, ma'am. My family hasn't lived in Africa for millennia. We haven't lived in Africa, so I have nothing to do with what's going over in Africa, ma'am. I am a foundational Black American. Do you understand that? Becky?
My name's not Becky. That's a black woman's name.
No, I've never met a Black woman named Becky, ma'am.
I have my
No,
old boss.
no, you haven't, ma'am. You've made up so many lies here. It's ridiculous. But go ahead, ma'am.
Tariq, you're the liar here. I bet to see your ass in confession this Sunday.
Ma'am, you sat here and said that a college wouldn't let you in because you were white and they let in Black people.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
that's true. I,
ma'am,
I
ma'am, that's the biggest lie I've ever heard. And
it's not a lie.
you can even name this.
Someone I go to school with who is black, same school. I had an insanely higher GPA,
No,
better
you didn't. No, you didn't.
extracurriculars, everything compared to
Lie.
him. Better
Lie.
prospects.
Ma'am, I'm listening to you talk. You sound like you have a sixth grade education. You don't have a high GPA. I can hear you, ma'am. You know there's people in here. We hear you. We hear you talking, ma'am. You're not the brightest bulb in the lamp. I'm not saying that to be mean spirited.
I never claimed to be the brightest or
You're
sharpest
not
knife
really
in this
that
drawer,
bright, ma'am.
but
You're not going to sit here and say all of
it's
this
not
G,
difficult. American education system isn't hard to get a good GPA.
ma'am.
We all
There,
know that.
ma'am. The average Black woman is smarter than you. Okay?
That's not true.
Yes, it is. The
No,
average
I highly
woman,
doubt that.
yeah, ma'am. You are not that bright, ma'am.
I
You're
bet a
really
black woman uses. I bet the average black woman uses Velcro shoes, zip
uses,
up boots. I've never seen a black woman tie her shoes.
ma'am. I don't know what that means. Black women have style. They got swag. Black women wear real fly stuff. Y'all
Yeah, their
saying,
swag includes Skechers Velcro.
ma'am, you've never seen Black women in no Skechers Velcro. That's you swagless Beckies running around here dressed in Ross outfits with dingy, dirty
No, Ross is for the Hispanics. Don't get it mixed up.
ma'am, you white supremacists are the most swagless people on the planet.
Yeah,
Let's not.
because swag is ghetto.
No, swag is phenomenal, ma'am. And speaking of, if swag is so ghetto,
I prefer class and
ma'am,
beauty. I don't like ghetto swag, whatever the fuck that is.
stop it, ma'am. You guys are all in trailer parks. Y'all have no class, no beauty. Stop acting like you're all,
I'm not in no damn trailer park. I'm in the suburbs, 3-story house, beautiful
ma'am.
family, beautiful
Ma'am.
walls, beautiful landscape.
I can hear motor oil dripping from your living room and the trailer park. You have a house on wheels, ma'am. You don't live
I
in
do
a
not. I mean, damn, I wish I had a house on wheels so I could drive over to your ass and I don't know, smack
nothing.
it.
No. You're not going to smack my ass. I don't want none of your white vajayjay, ma'am. I'm good. I don't want
I'm
it.
not gonna give you any of my white
I
vajayjay.
don't want it.
Put a
I
ring
don't
on it
want it.
first, Tariq.
No, ma'am, man. The only ring is the ring in the tub for me washing your ass, getting you dressed, and getting you the fuck out of my
And
face,
the only ring you'll ever have is the ringworm on your fucking ass cheeks. So
ma'am. And the only ring you'll have is the one areola that you have because your other titty fell off because of gangrene and
are
all of
you
that
really
mess.
making fun of me for having cancer and having to get a double mastectomy? The
Yeah,
fuck is
yes.
wrong with you?
Talking about your one areola, ma'am. You a unibitch. That's what they
I
call.
have both areolas. Plastic surgery can fix that up real nice.
Yes, you are the only unibitch running around the trailer park.
You call me a uni boob? Sir,
No, a
for your
unibitch.
information, I have enough um disciples and lovers to donate money to me to get my boob implants. So I'm not lacking up there in the department.
Okay, Becky. Anyway, now the meth is really kicking in heavy. All right,
It's
Becky.
not meth.
Okay.
It's the love
Um.
of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Uh, yeah. Got it. Anyway, dear. Any last words, Becky?
I just want to say this last word, Tariq, since the space is about reparations. You and none of the other black people roaming the earth right now deserve any kind of reparation.
Right. And I would like to say this to you: just because you're practicing white supremacy, we are not going to accept white supremacy, and we're going to keep demanding that we're going to get the reparations that are owed to us. And just because you don't like it, that doesn't mean we're going to suffer from the legacy of the white supremacists tactics and bylines that your community has infused on us. So we're going to get our reparations, ma'am.
Okay.
And it's a great thing that we get it because we're going to stimulate the economy with our reparations. So you know what that means? More meth for you. So this works out for all of us, ma'am. The tax money is going to circulate. You can go out here and get all types of stovetop stuffing and tuna casseroles and
Oh, those are
avocado
all
wrap
bad. Those all taste
and
good.
head lice remover, ma'am. It's going to work out for all of us, ma'am.
You
Isn't
know
that
what
a
I'm
great
gonna
thing?
do then? I'm gonna
What you going to do?
blackface my way into society, steal a black woman's social security number, and get myself those damn reparations too.
And we're going to see that big white flat ass of yours and say access denied, ma'am. And we're
You
going to,
know what? You know what exists nowadays?
what's that?
Butt padding.
Ma'am, even with butt padding, that's not going to work on you. Okay, that's not going to work. You're just going to look like a big giant grasshopper, and that's just not going to work
Well,
on
you
you.
know what? I'll send my black friend in to grab it for me then.
All right. Okay, Becky, you have a good night, dear. All right.
Love you, Tariq.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So yeah, I don't we don't care about the white supremacists being upset that we don't get what we get, that they don't want us to get what we're supposed to get. Yeah, we're campaigning.